Hi, I'm Pav.
And I'm Neil.
And welcome to the Top 10 of Anything podcast.
Let's start the countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Television has brought together so many famous duos. Some partnerships are there for laughs, some are to solve crime, and some just to entertain. Here's Neil, one half of one of the greatest podcasting duos of all time, with 10 TV duo facts. Hit it, Neil.
Thank you very much, Pav. So back in 1975, Tom and Jerry actually became friends, proper friends. In a special series, we saw them travel the world, competing in sports, solving mysteries, and enjoying some good old-fashioned bromance. Luckily, it didn't last.
4 candles.
Ant and Dec hold the Guinness Book of World Record for the most consecutive national TV awards for best presenters. 20 years on the bounce.
4 candles.
Will and Grace made history by being one of the 3 shows whose entire main cast were nominated for Emmys. The show also won the award for Best Comedy in 2000.
4 candles.
A lot of Cagney and Lacey was filmed in a small warehouse where they set up a studio to film the production. The warehouse was located on Lacey Street, but this was nothing more than a coincidence.
You stupid little plonker, Rodney.
Ernie Wise of Morecambe and Wise fame made the first UK mobile phone call on the 1st of January 1985 using the Vodafone network. The call was made from St Catherine's Dock to Vodafone's head office in Newbury, which at the time was over a curry house.
4 candles.
The Two Ronnies first met when Ronnie Corbett was working in Buckstone Club, an actors club, and Ronnie Barker and his wife came in for a drink.
4 candles.
Miami Vice nearly had a different duo when Denzel Washington went for the role of Ricardo Tubbs. It went to Philip Michael Thomas, who had an instant connection with Don Johnson, who played Sonny Crockett.
Irado.
When filming The X-Files, Gillian Anderson, Scully, would stand on a box to film scenes with David Duchovny, Mulder, due to the height difference.
Miss Kicker, I have the strangest feeling that I am about to be utterly and madly carried away.
4 candles.
Starsky and Hutch star Paul Michael Glazer didn't really enjoy being on the show altogether. Before the 3rd season started, Glazer actually tried to get out of his contract. He was uncomfortable with the amount of fame that the show had brought him.
I have nothing to say.
Beavis and Butthead were named after kids that lived in creator Mike Judge's neighborhood.
You stupid little plonker, Rodney.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, wonderfully done, Neil.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Neil. That was perfectly done. I need to count them because I was all willy-nilly with the sound effects then. Ladies and gentlemen, top 10 TV duos. And we are joined by one of our lovely Patreon supporters. And in fact, she's somebody that has supported us, I mean, for the last God knows how many years. God bless her. We class her not as a supporter, we class her as a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the wonderful Kim. Hello, Kim.
Hello, guys. Hello, everyone.
It's been far too long. We used to have weekly Zoom chats, didn't we, on the old
we did. Yeah.
This Country Patreon that we used to do, and we used to have a lot of laughs. We never used to talk a lot about This Country. we used to talk
occasionally. No, it would always start the minutest little link that we could find to talk about it, and then it would go off on the tangent, wouldn't it?
But it was always nice to chat, and I think we worked out it was January the last time we spoke to you. So.
Yeah.
Long time.
That's far
long time.
Yes. So we thank you for your support. We
You're
really
very
do.
welcome.
But it means more the fact that we can get you to come on the podcast and we can just have another chat with you. So did you find this TV duos top 10 hard to compile?
The final one I did, yeah. I started the list weeks and weeks ago, and except for the number 1, all the other positions have changed, and some have gone out, some have come in. I'd had to try really hard not to only base it on things that I'm currently watching and stuff, because that's the that's the downfall, isn't it? That they're fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that will take some people back.
Yeah, I feel the last few top 10s that we've done, I feel like I've been wallowing in the 70s and 80s quite a lot. And I feel like I'm sort of the same sort of thing with this one as well.
Yeah, I think,
and even further back as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm pretty much stuck in the 70s and 80s, but I have managed to get a couple of newer ones in there.
Yeah, I also found as well with my top 10 that obviously, and bless them all, we've got quite a lot of American followers and listeners that they may have to do a little bit. Well, they may have to come and join the Patreon so they can watch the video playlist, because there'll be a lot of names here I don't think that they are going to be sort of up to speed with.
Yeah, or familiar at all with. I would have thought.
Yeah.
It'll be good fun for them to go and research them, though.
Yeah,
indeed.
That's what I can
very
say.
British centric. I feel.
Yes.
And let's hope it travels well.
Yeah, that I don't know. That I'm not quite sure whether it will on some of them. Right. Well, we're gonna jump straight into it because I feel we're gonna have a lot to talk about tonight. So, Kim, what's your number 10th? Your number 10th?
My number 10th
TV duo.
Okay, recently just mentioned by Neil, I've got Starsky and Hutch at number 10.
They were very close to being mine.
Mine.
Yeah.
Huge fan.
I always remember watching this with my parents at home, and it introduced my penchant for blonde men, should we say.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, because on I think the last episode or the episode before, I chose Dave Starsky as one of my top 10 fictional detectives.
Okay.
And I said on that as a kid playing Starsky and Hutch, everybody wanted to be Starsky. Nobody wanted to be Hutch.
No, it was always Hutch for me.
Really?
Always. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, of course, it was discovered that he was pretty good at singing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're obviously a fan of Silver Lady.
Oh, Silver Lady, yes.
Don't Give Up on Us was my favorite.
Absolutely.
I've enjoyed singing those.
I'll tell you what, Don't Give Up on Us is I think now why that wasn't in my songs that make you cry. It's a beautiful song. Don't Give Up on Us. And then one of the B-sides was Black Bean Soup. I can remember. I bought his first 3 singles. Fantastic stuff.
You might be more of a fan than I was.
Honestly, as I said in the last episode, my nan knitted me a Starsky cardigan, and I wanted to be Dave Starsky. I thought.
What night of the week was it on? Because I remember it being on a Monday night, but that was when they reran it, and it was late. They put it on
always
really
thought it was
late.
a weekend. I thought it was
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
It would have been. I was saying
before
that was
Match of the Day.
rerun.
It was like it was 9 o'clock, or whatever, sort of 9:30 before Match.
Yeah. So that was when it was originally on. It was the reruns that I can remember because I used to sneak and watch it again on the Monday night. It was always about 10 o'clock.
And if you go on YouTube, they got full episodes on YouTube as well. It is.
Wow.
Yeah. Some of them haven't they haven't aged very well, put it that way. But like Huggy Bear is still like really cool, and then you've got the angry police captain.
Yeah,
it's like the trope of the angry captain. But it's just fantastic. That's a good one to start us off with.
It was.
Go on then, Neil. You're number 10.
So I'm going for a cartoon duo on TV. It's Shaggy and ScoobyDoo.
Oh, yeah.
And it was more of a youngster thing for me. I used to love Scooby-Doo. And the fact that it wasn't as many episodes as we remember, and we all gave up watching it when Scrappy-Doo came in because he was pointless. But the original series, it was only like, I can't remember exactly how many episodes, but it was only like 2 or 3 series, wasn't it, before Scrappy-Doo came in? It wasn't many. But I used to think they were going to be more frightening. I always wanted to be a little bit scared. It introduced you to the element of the ghosts. But I still, watching them back, I found an old DVD that the kids used to have of the original series, and I've watched them recently, and they're still really good, really funny. And there's no way they didn't write Shaggy with a stoner not in mind. He is completely.
Well, wasn't that what Scooby snacks weren't they? They're like to get over the munchies.
Wow. Yeah, but you don't realize how much of it it's pushed that's what it is from the original series. Oh, right. Whereas like when you watch them later and you got the Scrappy-Doo from the early 80s and through, it's mentioned, but it's not is much of a cultural thing. It just really made me laugh. I didn't realize it was quite as in your face as it is.
Right.
But what a great couple anyway.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Although I must admit that I hate the movies.
What the live action?
Oh, they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible.
I don't mind them. They are what they are. I mean, they're not made for us in mind, are they?
No, I know that the first one was written by James Gunn.
Yeah.
I don't know what the second one was. The second one might have been as well, but I just don't know. I just find them cringy. I really do.
Well, the first one's got Rowan Atkinson in it as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
I
thought, actually, just going back to the movies, Matthew Lillard, I thought he did brilliant as Shaggy.
I'm not saying he wasn't good. He was good as Shaggy, but the whole, I don't know, something about it.
It may have worked better if we didn't know it as a cartoon before.
Possibly.
Or you might just have to have been completely stoned.
Maybe. I mean, I've never been stoned in my life. Maybe that's what I needed to enjoy it.
Maybe.
Just completely wazzed out of my head. Maybe that's what I needed. Okay. My number 10 is, I think they were 80s, but it's Saint and Greavesy.
From the early 80s through, weren't they?
Early 80s through. So it's Ian St. John and Jimmy Greaves, two football legends that went together and were football pundits, but they had... It was sort of Soccer Saturday before Soccer Saturday, if you like. It was football. They would talk about football, but with a lot of humour going in. And Jimmy Greaves was one of those natural kind of performers, if you like, as a footballer.
Yeah.
He was a great entertainer, and even more so in front of a camera. And he just had that Cockney wit that bounced over perfectly with Ian St. John, who was, I wouldn't say he was a gruff Scottishman, he wasn't, because he always liked having a laugh. But so many, I mean, there's, again, I'll put it on the video playlist, there's so many great moments of Saint and Greavesy. There's one of Jimmy Greaves trying to get his hair right when they're off camera, and I mean, he's not bald, but he's got this little bit of a comb over, and he's just trying to just place it perfectly. And I'm thinking, just let it go, Jim, just let it go. And unfortunately, both not with us now, which is a shame.
No, sadly, that would have been like the one of the top podcasts of today if it was around.
If it,
without a doubt,
definitely a podcast, wasn't it, in the making?
And it's also someone like Jimmy Greaves. You think if he was in his prime now, how much money he'd be worth?
Yeah.
Or how much, because it must be, even players from the 80s and, well, maybe the 80s. I mean, they've all been well paid for the time that they were living in. But someone like Jimmy Greaves, when they look at players, not very good players that are earning £100,000 a week, and you have players that have won the World Cup for England that have to sell their medals to pay for their retirement, it must be so galling. It must be terrible to sort of see that. But yeah, they were, I wouldn't say they were of their time. I think they were before their time. Yeah. And I think that's a perfect shape, Neil. I think as a podcast, they would have been, you imagine them, the stories that they would tell, the same as people like Rodney Marsh and people like that, the stories that they would tell of what it was like, having a
bygone days,
having a steak and a pint as your pre-match meal,
having a fag at half time.
exactly. Oh, those were the days.
But apparently their live show was superb because they took it on tour. Yeah, apparently it was very funny.
Right.
Yeah, and I imagine it was quite filthy as well. I imagine the language would have been a bit more near the knuckle. Right, go on then, Kim. You're number 9.
Okay, number 9 for me is Jack and Vera Duckworth.
Jack and Vera.
What a great choice.
I mean, as a kid, obviously, every time you watched Corrie, it kind of felt to me growing up like that's what married couples are like. Jack and Vera.
Yeah.
Jack with his pigeons, Vera whinging and all that. So really not much has changed.
They used to have some good couples in Corrie, didn't they?
Yeah.
Hilda and Stan Ogden was another one.
Yeah.
We was Ken and Deirdre Barlow. Oh my
I know.
God.
I know. Yeah. It just feels to me like soaps have moved on, but not like that, if you know what I mean. They don't have the same sort of connections these days as they did back then.
I don't think they don't have lovable characters anymore, do they? I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen a soap opera.
Yeah.
I must admit. And I mean, I used to be into EastEnders when it first started, but then once you saw that they just start after like a 3-year cycle, they just recycle the storylines with different people, or somebody old comes back.
Yeah.
But Coronation Street, I think, had the most sort of lovable
characters. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it always had the more humor to the soap as well, didn't it, Corrie? When I watched EastEnders, same as Pav, Lofty was still in it when I last watched EastEnders.
Wow,
that's how long ago. It was always doom and gloom, isn't it? I suppose it still is. Also, didn't Jack Duckworth, what was his real name? Bill
Tommy. Yeah, he was a singer as well.
Yeah, he got quite a decent recording contract, didn't he? And released some albums.
Yeah.
Are they? I know he died. Is she still with us?
No, I don't think so.
No.
It's funny because it came up on my YouTube timeline a couple of weeks ago. Was the scene where Jack gets found like he's dead in his seat, he's dead in his armchair, and I'd never seen it before, and I thought, Christ, that's a bit, oh my god, that's quite shocking.
Was he rotting?
No, he was like this puddle of like northern muck. Oh, that sounds horrible. I apologize.
So the northern listeners switched
I apologize, northern listeners. I didn't mean he was northern muck. I meant that like he would have like corroded into his seat. And I apologize. I might cut that bit out. Go on then, Neil, you're number 9. Let's move on.
So it's a comedy duo. It's the Two Ronnies.
That's my number 5.
So what's not to love about these two? It took me a while to appreciate Ronnie Corbett more than Ronnie Barker. I think he was the more accessible when you were younger. But watching some of the reruns back, those stories, those armchair jokes that Ronnie Corbett told are superb. I mean, I didn't appreciate them when I was younger. I used to find that bit a bit boring and just think, but they were superb, and the sketches were just so funny, and they still hold up now. They really do hold up well. And of course Ronnie Barker wrote most of it, didn't he? Under a pseudonym, whatever it was. The Phantom Raspberry Blower of Old London Town was a classic. I tell you what, the other bit I appreciate more watching them again recently is the songs. They always finished with, they're a lot funnier than I remember them being. Very clever wordplay. Very clever.
You a Two Ronnies fan? Kim?
Not so much. I don't remember a whole lot of watching them when I was younger, but now I've seen sort of reruns of what's the shop one?
Open All Hours.
Yeah, I mean I loved him in that. Also, Sorry.
That's
Ronnie
right.
Corbett. That was quite funny. I loved the character that he played in that, but not so much together, I have to say. But again, that could be just because I wasn't brought up with it. So
it was always one of the staple things to watch at Christmas, wasn't it? Along with another duo that I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit later on. But I'll tell you the one thing that sort of stopped me from watching them a little bit, and like a lot of things, it was not the 9 o'clock news. Now, not the 9 o'clock news did a piss take of the Two Ronnies. I don't know if you can remember that. It was Griff Rhys-Jones and Mel Smith.
Yeah,
and they were singing a song. Said, "We're titting up and down on the Willy Bum Bum."
That's right. Yeah,
and it was like perfect. And I think I read something where Ronnie Barker was really offended by that song,
right?
Because he thought, "Oh my God, is this what people think of us? Do people just think that all we do is it's all about piss pronouncing our worms and stuff, you know?" And he apparently was really hurt by that song and didn't like the fact that they were taking the mickey out of that. But I thought that was some of the stuff but it was weird how that turned me off of them for a little bit. But I think they did a like a retrospective thing, didn't they, where they were both back in the studio and looking.
That's right, they did.
Looking back,
just before episodes. Ronnie Barker passed. Wasn't it?
And there is some fantastic. I mean, the Four Candles sketch is just
obviously classic. The mastermind.
The mastermind, one of the greatest things ever written.
Wordplay.
And so many great things, and so many, like I say, Ronnie Barker doing his bits on his own. I was the same as you, Neil. When as soon as like the armchair stuff with Ronnie Corbett came on, I was a little bit, oh God, this is a bit boring. But you look back on them now, beautifully written jokes.
Yeah, very funny.
You know,
and the
and I
way he
don't-
went off on a tangent and came back to the story was fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that when you watch them, they do look very 70s, don't they? That's the
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
which is weird because that's when they came from, was the 70s. There you go. Okay, so my number 9, they were more an audio thing, but they did appear on TV, is Derek and Clive.
Oh,
And I think I think it's the first time I heard the C word was listening to Derek and Clive.
that's a famous one, isn't it?
When I was about, like, I don't know how old, I was probably 8 or 9, and I thought, this is so not, I shouldn't be listening to this because it is like terrible. And you get, again, I'll put it on the video playlist for our Patreoners, but it's about as filthy as you can get, I think.
It is. I mean, it probably isn't shocking today, but back then it was. We were exchanging the tape at school.
Oh my god!
About the first or second year at secondary school, everybody was having a go at listening to the tape.
Exactly, and it was that thing. It made you feel like you were an adult because you were hearing these two guys like arguing with each other, and you fucking cunt and all that stuff. And it was just like there wasn't. Sometimes there wasn't even any point to their stories. It was just two guys chatting. It's Dudley Moore and Peter Cook. That's who Derek and Clive were.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can remember watching it or listening to that the first time, and they were on the TV, weren't they, Neil? I'm sure
they were.
They
obviously,
were,
I mean, Dudley Cook and
Dudley Cook and Peter Moore.
Peter Moore had their own TV show, didn't they? And they did Derek and Clive on there.
That's right.
But obviously not the explicit version.
Not the explicit version.
You had to wait until they were drunk and in a studio doing it.
Yeah, and they would get quite irate with each other as well. And some of it didn't sound like it was acting. Some of it sounded like they were, especially Peter Cook.
Yeah, they were probably both so pissed, weren't they? But also, they corpsed all the time. Didn't they?
Yeah. So I will put that in the video playlist if you haven't ever seen it. But it's an education. I'll give you that. It's definitely an education.
I mean, I find it quite funny still, but
some
people I know don't.
Some
people I know really don't find it funny. They're like, what?
No, but it's a lot of swearing, and it's a lot of like grade A swearing as well. So just be warned. Go on then, Kim. You're number 8.
Okay, at number 8 for me is Greg Davis and Taylor Lautner via Cuckoo.
Oh right, okay.
I've never watched this yet.
No,
you need to see it. You really do need to see it. Obviously, Greg Davis speaks for himself, doesn't it? I mean, he plays a great part. And obviously Taylor Lautner. I only was introduced to Taylor Lautner via the Twilight movies.
Of course you were,
because I was Team Jacob, obviously.
Of course you were.
Yes.
It was those abs, wasn't it?
He does comedy so well. And yes, definitely you need to watch it.
I certainly will have a look. I enjoyed his other series, Man Down. I thought
Man Down,
and,
really
what was
good.
the other one he did?
The Cleaner. Was it The Cleaner? Or
Well, that was the latest. That was the last one, wasn't it? Well, he's in the In-Betweeners, wasn't he?
That's right.
Yes.
The In-Betweeners, he was funny. But
So that Cuckoo, wasn't it? Andy Samberg was like the son in the first series, wasn't he?
Yes, that was only
wasn't he?
Yeah, it was husband of his daughter.
Right.
Yeah,
so what is Taylor Lautner in?
He comes back as son of the original son.
Oh right, okay.
So it's all a bit strange, but it will make sense when you follow it through.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look. I will have to have a look.
There's a really good video of I think it must have been for publicity for Cuckoo.
Yeah.
Of Greg
Is that
Davis.
where they're getting Taylor Lautner to say words? British
to
words?
say like
I've
proper
seen
English
that.
words.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, I'll put that in the video playlist.
But again, it's the chemistry between the two of them that makes it
right.
funny.
Okay. Yeah. I love Greg Davis. Worth looking into that, I think. Trying to find the series.
He's a naturally funny guy, isn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Go on then, Neil. You're number 8.
So we talked about this duo quite a lot recently over various podcasts, and we'll go back to the 80s. It's Tubbs and Crockett from Miami Vice.
Oh, bless.
How cool were they? I mean, we've said a lot about this program over the podcast, but who didn't want to be one of them? really. The way they dressed, the way they were, the epitome of cool, I personally think. And like Pav said, we all wanted to, have a Ferrari, have a pet alligator. We all wanted to be there. We all had the pastel coloured jacket, rolled up sleeves, espadrilles.
No socks.
Yeah.
Stubble.
Well, no, I didn't have stubble back then. I mean, I tried a bit of bum fluff, but the cat usually licked it off in the morning. But yeah, we all wanted to be them. And I just think they were a cool couple of dudes, weren't they? And they still stand out, and they've still got a lot of memories from them. I'm going to rewatch them as well, because a friend of mine has lent me the box set of all of the Miami Vice. So,
Oh, really?
So I'm going to have a bit of a blast watching all those again. I haven't seen them in ages, but
Kick-ass music as well.
I was going to say that the music was very good as well.
Yeah, we spoke about Crockett's theme, didn't we?
We did.
Beautiful piece of music. Yeah.
Jan Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one, Neil. That is a good one. Okay, my number 8, someone that two people we all know very, very well, Kerry and Curtin from this country.
I put him number 4 for me.
You put him number 4.
Number 2 for me.
Okay. Okay. Now, as I said, for 4 years we did the only This Country podcast, from what I can see. No one else has ever tried to do it, because we did it so well, Neil, that
I think because we had the access we had
the access that we did. And I still, so it's after, I mean, I don't know the last time I've watched This Country, but I still feel like way too close to it. I think I've said it so many times that I like dissected the show and went through it to get quizzes and to get sound bites and that so many times at like 15-second increments that I still feel I can't watch it without enjoying it. But I do feel like give it maybe a year or so and I'll go back to it, and then like we'll really enjoy watching it again.
It's exactly what I've done, is come away from it for a bit, just so you can re-engage in it and not feel so fatigued.
Yeah, but you can't deny that they are just a great duo, a great comedy duo.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
Well, I was always hoping, I mean, just quickly, that they were, Sosay had written another sitcom that would be for the two of them, but we've heard nothing since about that, have we? So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Well, Daisy has sort of gone off into the stratosphere, hasn't she? She's in a different sort of level now compared to. Did anybody watch? I mean, did you watch The Witchfinder with her in them?
Yes.
And I didn't finish it, I'll be honest.
I thought it was okay. I just thought her character was far too close to Kerry. She's sort of like it's she was like a bumbling oaf kind of thing, but with a heart of gold, and it just seemed a little bit too much like Kerry for me. So I didn't mind it. I thought it was good. I had an amazing cast.
Yeah.
A fantastic cast of people, and it was written well, but I don't know, Kim, what would you think?
I enjoyed it. Obviously, I enjoyed it, and it introduced me to Tim Key, who I'd not been introduced to before. And I mean, he's very good. There were an awful lot of times that if I shut my eyes, it could have been Kerry talking. Yeah, I did think that.
No, I do agree, but I thought I owed it to them for them, if we're doing TV duos, for them to be in the top 10. So had to be in there. So okay then, Kim, your number 7 then, please.
Okay, my number 7 is Martin Clunes and Neil Morrissey as Men Behaving Badly. Yeah, I used to love this show. I think it was 90s, right? It was
90s.
Yeah,
very
90s. Yeah. And I think everything about it was 90s, wasn't it? It's just how I imagined people of that age would be living and acting.
Yeah. It's that lads era.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing, FHM and Loaded magazine and all that kind of and nothing but drinking. But I'm the same as you, Kim. I used to like love, and I'd buy it on DVD and just watch it over. It helped that I had a crush on Caroline Quinton. That was my crush. But yeah, they were. I mean, again, I haven't seen them for a long time, so I don't know if they've held up.
No, I've not watched them in ages.
I think for me, the problem would be that I love Martin Clunes as Doc Martin now, and when I see him as Doc Martin, I don't see him as Gary now.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's a time thing as well.
Could be.
I don't know.
And I think I missed the first couple of series that Neil Morrissey joined, because I did try and watch it when Harry Enfield did it.
I don't
That
like
first
Harry
series, and that was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Dreadful.
could see that it was set up to be a star vehicle for Harry Enfield.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like they gave him all of what was supposed to be the funny stuff to do, and he didn't seem natural.
No.
But Neil Morrissey and Martin Clunes together were like really, really good. Those as a foursome were really good with Leslie Ash and Caroline Quinton.
Yeah.
Really, really good. It might be worth delving back into that just to have a little look and see whether it holds up, because I got a feeling that it could end up feeling a little bit like Carry On movies, where some of them are okay, but some of them you think they won't get
a bit close.
They can't say that these days. It's just definitely a thing of the 90s. But that's a good one. I didn't even think about them. God, bloody hell, that's a good one. Right, go on then, Neil. You're number 7.
So this couple were all the rage, probably late 90s into the 2000s. It's Buffy and Angel. I was with everybody else that got hooked in it and watched it religiously every week. And so much so, I think I've watched all of them a few times through now. And in the last lockdown, I was re-watching them and really enjoying them. But the connection those two had were, you know, one minute they were together, one minute they weren't, and it was very much, you know, will they, won't they stay together? And then obviously Angel went off and had his spin-off series, which I think was just as good as Buffy. Are you two fans? Were you?
No,
my wife was a massive fan. Up in the loft, we've got the entire like DVD collection of Buffy and Angel.
Wow.
Yeah. I was a huge fan of the day, and I thought it held up really well when I rewatched it. I mean, some of the effects are obviously a bit ropey, but that was of its time. But
apart from the all music episode, the what was it? Once More with Feeling.
I think it's
great
superb.
songs. Some great songs on there.
Yeah, and there's an episode in Angel that I think holds up really well, is when he becomes a Muppet.
Right, yeah, I had heard of that one. I haven't seen.
Yeah, that's a really good one. He wakes up as this puppet, well, a Muppet, and he's having to solve things as this puppet. It's really quite funny. It really is. So that's a good one. But yeah, I just a lot of laughs, and again, it's this thing where, you know, younger generations could watch it and be creative. You know, they were quite scary. I mean, some of them were edited. I didn't realize until recently that on BBC Two, when they were showing it at 7:15 or 7 o'clock or whatever time it was, they were a bit cut. But music done by Thomas Wanker. There you go. Always makes me laugh.
What a critical name that is, isn't it? It has that, eh? I mean, goodness me.
Well, in America, it's not funny, is it? Because they don't use that terminology.
It writes its own headlines with a name like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And see, now why wasn't that in the top 10 fascinating facts at the start of the night?
It's not a duo, is it?
Well, I suppose not. No,
you know,
not. If we do top 10 musical composers or TV composers, look.
Yeah, that'll be in the facts.
That'll be in the facts. Well,
Thomas Wanker.
You've already blown it now, Neil. That's a fact.
Well, you know, might forget. I'll bring it back again.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Okay, my number 7 is the Cape Crusader and his boy wonder, Batman and Robin. That's the 66 TV.
Oh, that's my number 5.
That's your number 5. Yeah. Again, we have spoken about these guys quite a bit and on certain podcasts, but I don't think there's ever been a series quite like it for the color, the campness, the tongue-in-cheekness, if you like. But it was a show I can remember watching as a kid and like devouring it, the whole pow blam. I can also remember, I think it was it Weetabix or someone like that, whether you had a Letraset, it was like a background, and then you had like little transfers that you could.
Oh yeah,
remember? And it had like a blam and pow, and then a Batman and a penguin, and I can remember getting that. I think they did one for Doctor Who as well, didn't they? Or Doctor Who had the little stand-up characters, didn't they?
That's right.
But yeah, Adam West is like legendary. Burt Ward, and such an amazing array of villains that were like top actors of the, you know, Vincent Price and Burgess Meredith and
Eartha
Kitt, and people like that. I mean, it's just fantastic. And I'm surprised they haven't tried to do, I suppose, would you class the George Clooney Batman and Robin as a like a version of that where it's more sort of no, I don't think you can. But,
no, and again, I've watched these again not so long ago, and they still hold up really well. I think they're so funny. They're a lot funnier now when you're older than when you were younger. Obviously, it was all the action and the excitement when you were younger, and like you said, the pow, the biff, and all that.
Yeah, but are they funny because they're like over campy?
No, they're funny because they're supposed to be funny.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You genuinely realize the laughs that they're having and how much of a laugh they must have had filming them. And some of the speeded up stuff is just really funny. And I think on purpose. I don't think they did it, just because that was the way they did, like the Batmobile going so fast out of the cave. I think it was done on purpose. Because if you look in the foreground or sort of in the background or whatever, something moving, they haven't tried to avoid that. So if somebody's walking there, they're walking just as fast.
Right.
Wow.
So it makes me laugh. It really does. But it's great. Like Pav said, the cast is huge. Absolutely huge.
Kim, a fan?
I never was as a child, but I think hearing that and thinking about the likes of the Marvel stuff and that now, I think I'd appreciate it more now than I ever would have then. Definitely.
Yeah, because it's a lot more. All of the Marvel and DC stuff is a lot more earnest and serious now. There's humor, obviously, but the Batman sort of 66 was so colourful and so in your face and just something to look at everywhere, and great set designs and stuff like that.
But some of the costume, the Batman costume itself is we're so used to this leather or PVC sort of costume that the guys wear now,
and he's just got a leotard on. That's all he's got.
A leotard,
with a plastic bat stuck on his chest.
That's it. And the utility belt, though. We all wanted a utility belt.
Gotta have that. Right then, Kim, your number 6 then, please.
Okay, for me, number 6 is David Walliams and Matt Lucas. Now, generally, I didn't like a lot of the stuff that they did, but the one thing I did enjoy of theirs was Rock Profile, where they used to do the spoof of the pop groups and all of that. I really enjoyed those, and I have
forgotten about that.
Yeah, I've rewatched a lot of those. Jamie Theakston also featured in a lot of them, and they used to rip the piss out of him as well, which is very good. Yes.
Matt Lucas doing Elton John was great. It was all like the tantrums and tiaras thing when he just started having a go at him. I remember I used to watch that before I was going on a late shift. And that used to be on God, what was it? BBC Choice or something?
It was something like that. Yeah.
Like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'd watch a bit, and it'd be like 15 minutes of one.
One
thing,
group,
and 15 minutes of something else, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's like Take That.
Take that. Steps. They were my favorite ones. Yeah.
That's a great one because I hadn't thought about that. God, I haven't thought about them for ages. That would have been early 2000s then, wouldn't it? I would have thought.
Must have been.
Must have been. Yeah, must have been.
Because I was never a fan of Little Britain.
Me neither.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't.
No, me neither. No.
But that was like just catchphrase after catchphrase, basically. And I think didn't that Catherine Tate do the same kind of thing? Then it was like
yeah.
Character.
I mean, you could argue the Fast Show, but the Fast Show was actually funny with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They were catchphrase humor, but. To me, they actually had a joke behind it rather than just going for the catchphrase.
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree. But I mean, that's another one I'm going to have to... They must be on YouTube. I'll have to have a little look at those because I used to enjoy those rock profiles.
Yeah.
Very good.
Great.
Very good. Okay, then, Neil, your number 6, please.
So we sort of mentioned about their Christmas specials. It's Morecambe and Wise.
That's my number 3.
Yeah. I mean, what is there to say? I mean... The straight guy to the funny guy worked perfectly well. And again, it's humor that I've grown to appreciate more the more I've seen the reruns and things. So come to Christmas, they always put one at like the 77 Christmas special or whatever it is, the famous one. And you watch it now and you think, actually, that's a lot funnier than I remember it being. A lot funnier. And I think Eric Morecambe, well, you can see where Vic Reeves gets his inspiration from, can't you? For sure.
Yeah.
And he was just a legend, wasn't he? I think, an absolute comedy genius. he really was. Yeah.
Yeah, Kim, a fan?
I never really saw a lot of them back in that sort of time. I was very young in the 70s, obviously.
I mean, were you even born in the 70s? That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, unfortunately, most of them I remember seeing most of them.
To sort of tell you more about what they were. You remember the 70s?
I think because obviously, like Neil said, I think you do appreciate it more when you see it later on. So I think when I look back now, I can see, yes, that was funny. But at the time, I would never have appreciated them like that.
Yeah. I think because I it was always that thing, do you like the Two Ronnies or do you like Morecambe and Wise? And I think Morecambe and Wise always, for me, like their musical numbers, it wasn't them dressing up as women or doing you know, like Little and Large used to dress up as people and do. And I never used to like that. Whereas
Little and Large weren't funny.
No, that is true. But Morecambe and Wise used to do like big dance numbers with famous people, you know, Glenda Jackson or be like
Angela
Richard
Rippon.
and Angela Rippon, which very famously.
And Andre Previn.
There's so many amazing moments. And the fact they went from the BBC to ITV and I think they went back to the BBC.
Yeah.
They did it on, but I wasn't too keen on their ITV stuff. I'm getting a bit more sort of like a connoisseur of it. But the BBC, and like you say, Eric Morecambe. The one thing about Ernie Wise, though, I think the mark of a good straight man is that he still has his moments. You know, he is not just 100% straight man.
No,
he was a
funny guy himself.
He has his and he was a really talented guy, but he knew when to be funny and he knew when to let the actual funny guy just do his stuff. Yeah. You know, and he was just like a plaything for Eric Morecambe to like look under his wig or, you know, slap his cheeks or stuff like that. I think they were just absolute geniuses, both of them.
So funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
Oh dear. And that's something I'll put some of their best bits on the video playlist without a shadow of a doubt because they are fantastic. Okay, my number 6. You heard it on the thing.
Miss Kit.
Oh, not that one. No, that one.
You stupid little plonker, Rodney.
Del Boy and Rodney from Only
My number 3.
That's your number 3. Now, obviously, again, this is from the 80s, early 80s was when Only Fools and Horses started, and some of the stuff doesn't age well, doesn't travel well through the decades. It has to be said. But as a duo, as a double act, if you like, I think you can't really go wrong with David Jason. David Jason's another one of those guys, a bit like Ronnie Barker, an amazing comedian. Well, not just an amazing actor. I mean,
very much a good actor.
Didn't just do comedy, but as Del Boy, and especially Del Boy and Rodney, they are what I would say are the quintessential British comedy characters, if you like. You know, they're not heroes, they're not successful. No. You know, they have nothing but flaws, but they always are ready to fight another day. You know, they're for themselves, especially Del Boy. All he wants to do is be rich. He just wants a fiver more than he can spend, is one of the things I can always remember him saying. But he also loves his family and he also is loyal to his family. But again, some of the moments that Del and Rodney, you know, I've never been a massive fan of Nicholas Lyndhurst, I have to say, especially as the series went on. I think he was great when he was almost like a
stroppy teenager.
Yeah, stroppy teenager, like ex-student kind of thing. Yeah. That he was a bit sort of like dopey. When he sort of became like the yuppie in the suit and was with Cassandra, he got a bit of a
drippy,
a wet blanket kind of thing. You know? But
still had some great stuff though.
Oh,
you know, I
John Sullivan's writing was amazing.
I rewatched all these with glee. I sat and watched all of these because I'd forgotten so much of it. And the David Jason is so good in that role. I mean, some of it's a little suspect on what they talk about nowadays, but it is, like we said before, of its time and everything. But yeah, I find them hilarious. I just find it. There's so many memorable moments from the whole series. Yeah. There really is, right from the series 1. they're ingrained. When you ever see these Channel 5 100 greatest comedy scenes, there's always a load from
there
only
are.
sources. There really is, because they are so funny.
Now,
And
Kim,
they
you
really
were,
gave me barely laughs now. That's
yeah,
the
you were
thing,
probably
still.
just in nappies, weren't you? In like 81 when
I wasn't not so much nappies, but it wasn't high on my priority watch list, I have to
Really?
say, and it hasn't been something. Obviously, I've seen all the classic clips, and I used to live at that time not far away from Claysmore School, which is where they filmed The Chandelier.
Oh,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, yeah.
Okay.
So obviously we had there was a lot of publicity in that around that at the time. So that's something that I always remember it for. And but like you say, I think towards as it got older, it kind of lost it a little bit.
Yeah, they did one
Yeah.
too many
Yeah.
episodes, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah. Once
And
they
I
became,
also wasn't happy that they took it to the stage. I didn't think
yeah,
that was a great idea.
Yeah, I did. I've seen. I think I don't know whether they put the whole performance up online or somebody just filmed it from the stage.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a massive fan of it, I must admit.
No.
Because I don't think anybody should be playing Del Boy apart from
No, exactly. Yeah.
David
apart from
Jason.
David Jason.
It's just not right. But
No.
okay, so that was my number 6. So Kim, what's your number 5?
Okay, my number 5 is coming a bit more up to date with Martin Compston and Vicky McClure in Line of Duty.
Line of Duty.
Yes.
Pab's not watched this yet.
I've never seen it.
Okay.
No.
So no spoilers or anything, but
No, that's fine. You can spoil it.
But it's a great drama series, and also each season, if you like, has different characters when they've had some really good people play them. But the chemistry that these two have together is just really good and makes for good viewing.
It does. And our friend Craig Parkinson.
Yes, of course.
So as someone that's never watched it, and do these two have the same old trope of will they, won't they?
No, not really.
No, not really.
That's quite refreshing then, because I was only thinking today how many shows they have to latch on to that will they, won't they kind of thing.
No, it was always more of a mate thing, because that's a bit of a catchphrase, all right mate, and things like that as well. But no, I've never thought about them two being an item, or will it ever get to that stage? So
okay, that's fair enough. But is it quite a grisly show? Has it got like...
Not particularly. It
grisly.
keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Yes.
It's more like that. You want. It seemed to be one of those tropes where they end on a cliffhanger all the time.
Right.
And you think, like, partway through a series, you think you've got it sussed about what's going to happen, and then it just completely turns on its head. And
how many series have they done then?
5.
5.
That seems like a lot of.
But there's rumor it's coming back, isn't there?
Well, probably.
Yes.
I mean, it seems to be one of like BBC's crown jewels at the moment.
Well, the last series divided people.
It did,
time.
yeah.
And I think they want to address what they said was the final series. I think that's what's happened, because it divided people so much.
Oh right, okay, intriguing. Okay, I might give that a go. We'll see. Neil, so at number 5 you said Batman and Robin.
I did.
At number 5 I said the Two Ronnies. So we're back with you, Kim, for your number 4.
Okay, my number 4, which may surprise you, is Armstrong and Miller.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah.
Particularly the Airman sketches. They where they I don't know if you're familiar with them, but on their BBC show, they used to do sketches where they were airmen, but when they spoke to each other, they were trying to be like cool and down with the kids. And you need to find a sketch like that, because it's just hilarious, especially they're two well-spoken gents, and and having them say some of those things is just really funny.
Yeah. Was it Armstrong and Miller that used to do the sketch, the naked sketch? Was that those two?
I don't remember that one.
No, if anyone would remember a nakedness, it would be Kim.
Yeah.
Would remember.
Chances are it would have been me to remember that.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I
Maybe
don't remember
not.
a naked one.
Maybe it's somebody
Oh.
else. They were quite funny. I mean,
I would
obviously
offer to Google it, but I'd probably have someone come and take
everything was strategically placed, and then all of a sudden it wasn't strategically placed.
And also, I think so much now, you see, obviously, Alexander Armstrong does a lot of presenting and stuff now.
Pointless.
And Ben Miller does a lot of drama stuff. But when they were together, they were really good. Really
Very
good.
funny.
I can't say I've ever seen any of their stuff, but I'm just looking at the RAF pilots. Is that?
Yep,
That's
that's
it.
them. Yeah,
Is it?
yeah.
Okay. RAF Airmen chat up some hotties. Is that what it could be?
It could be one of those. Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's see.
Them yachts is bare chum, isn't it? For shizzle, there's Buff. Was in there big time, Brett. You know what I mean? The blonde one was eyeing my packet. You see her clocking my unit and all this? It's a good look for you, man. You look well now, respect. You know what I mean? You can see all like my pants and this and that. Yes, you can see all your pants. If someone looks at you, they can see like all your pants.
Okay, we'll have to give them a little listen.
They were funny. They were good. They did some.
So they were. I can't. I don't know why I never saw. So when were they on TV then? Armstrong and Miller.
BBC Two, wasn't it? It was definitely.
It was,
BBC
yeah.
Two.
And it was like a half-hour show once a week.
Oh right.
Sketch show, yeah.
Sketch show. It was a sketch show. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. That's something that completely passed me by. That did.
Did they come from like another troupe and split off, Armstrong and Miller? Or were they just themselves?
I don't know. I don't remember ever knowing of them.
I think they were in steps. I think.
Were they?
I think. They
I thought it was Aqua.
Now that's the one I gotta see. Yes.
Okay then. Right. So Neil, number 4, you said was Kerry and Curtin.
Yep.
My number 4 are 2 of the greatest cartoon characters ever, Tom and Jerry. You did mention them in the.
I did. Tom and Jerry.
In the facts, I think they are. I mean, they are the Itchy. There wouldn't be Itchy and Scratchy in The Simpsons if it wasn't for Tom and Jerry.
Yeah,
but it's very old style, like black and you think of the black and white movies.
Yep.
You think of just the violence.
Yeah.
That is masqueraded as comedy, or the comedy masqueraded as violence, whichever way you want to do it. They got to a point, I can't remember what year it was, but the style of it seemed to change. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, the animation.
The animation style changed, and the ones pre that were the ones that I loved.
Yeah.
And they were always just 5 minutes of just absolute joy. And you knew what was going to happen. You knew that Tom was going to get beaten the crap out of, or have all of his whiskers twanged out of his
Jerry was
face.
quite a smug little shit, though, wasn't he?
He was horrible.
Yeah.
He was a horrible. I've always said I would love to have done a range of T-shirts that had things like Jerry squashed in a mousetrap, right, with like tongue hanging out and like his eyeballs like popped out, and Tom stood over him saying "Got the bastard," and that's what the T-shirt would be. And you could have like Tweety Pie and Sylvester. You could have Wile E. Coyote and the
Roadrunner. Yeah.
Like, that would it be? The whole. I mean, it would cost a fortune licensing. I know it would, but it'd be like that would be the thing. Got the bastard. So you finally, Tom wins. You know, and I mean, it never would have happened, obviously, but
those two. If you think of we're going to say the I word. If you ask anybody the iconic TV duos or most famous, I'm sure most people will bring them up first,
without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm the only one that's got him in my top 10. So.
Yeah.
They are timeless, though, as well.
Oh, without a doubt.
I mean, I remember watching them when I was a kid. I remember putting them on for my kids when they were small, but just because it was just so entertaining.
I think kids, it doesn't matter what age the kids are.
Yeah.
As soon as they can recognize two people hitting themselves,
I
think they find it funny. I know with like my granddaughter, who is, she's like nearly 1.5. If I pretend to hit myself in the head, she absolutely wets herself. Luckily, she's got a nappy on while she sat on me while I'm hitting myself. But it's weird how people find other people hurting themselves as funny, as comedy. It's just very, very strange. There must be some there's some deep and subconscious meaning to it. I'm sure, but we haven't got the time to delve into that. We haven't got the time. Okay, so that was my number 4. So Kim, we're on to your number 3 then, please.
Okay, getting close now. Okay, so my number 3 is the wonderful Kathy Burke and James Dreyfus in Gimme, Gimme, Gimme.
Yay. Oh dear.
I mean,
it's been a long time since I've seen it. Long time. I don't think I've seen it since.
I think this is a show that was definitely of its time.
Yes,
I don't
definitely.
think you could make this show today.
No. But everything that it kind of stood for is just comedy gold, isn't it? I mean, the character that Kathy Burke is just. I think if I'm probably honest, it's where I was heading.
Right.
I wanted to be like that. I wanted to have that kind of self-confidence, I think. And there are a lot of young people these days that could do with being more like that, but for other reasons. But I mean, it was just funny.
And James Linda, wasn't it?
Linda.
That's right.
Yeah.
Linda LaHughes, wasn't it? I think.
And James Dreyfus was just
fantastic.
Classic.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Definitely. I can always remember when you say about that self-confidence. I think with her, it was like blind self-confidence.
Oh, definitely.
Because she was walking down the street when there's a load of builders were wolf whistling, but it was behind. She couldn't see behind her was this gorgeous woman. So she's just walking down the street going, "Hey boys!" So she thinks that they're wolf whistling to her, and there's some great lines in that show.
Really great, but also a lot of other stuff that you just couldn't get away with.
No, I think I've said this before on a previous episode, but I used to let my kids watch it.
Yeah,
because again, it was like my kids were little; they didn't understand any of the like the sexual things they were saying.
Yeah,
it was just like a cartoon. You had this like this woman with like bright orange hair, smacking the crap out of this bloke or whatever. And one of my daughters watched it a few months ago. And like messaged me or phoned me, or the next time I saw her, she said, "I cannot believe you let us watch that show. It is filthy." I said, "Yeah, but you didn't understand what it meant." It's just, but it was a great show. Again, I haven't seen it for a while, so I wonder how.
I don't know if anybody's sort of replaying it now. I'm probably not.
Probably not. No,
I'm sure you could find it.
I'm sure it's somewhere. I'm sure we've got them upstairs somewhere on.
But
DVD
Kathy Burke, I think that lady is a legend.
Absolutely,
she definitely.
But I think in real life, she's someone that just doesn't give a shit. You know, she's she's just at that point of her life now where. She's quite happy to talk about people that she's shagged or people that she hasn't or people she'd like to or stuff. She's a bit like that Miriam Margolyes.
Oh, she's
Here's the thing, right? I found this out today, and it absolutely. So I do my walks today because I'm on my trying to get myself fit thing. And the very first day I went for my walks, what was that? As we're recording this, it was 67 days ago. I saw a rabbit, right, and it looked like the Cadbury's caramel rabbit. Because I thought, man, that's the sexiest rabbit I've ever seen, apart from the Cadbury's caramel rabbit. And I spoke about it today on the Facebook Live, because I do a Facebook Live as I'm walking around. And somebody told me that Miriam Margolyes was the voice of the Cadbury's caramel rabbit.
Really?
And I thought, no way. And
she's a great actress. So
somebody Googled it and said that is the absolute truth.
Wow.
That Miriam Margolyes, and she was also the voices of the chimps, or one of the chimps on the PG Tips hat as well.
Wow.
For God, is there no end to this woman's talents?
Wow.
I was absolutely blown away. I thought, oh my God, I won't look at that Cadbury's caramel bunny the same way again. Unbelievable. Anyway, right. So Neil, you said for number 3, Del and Rodney. I said for number 3, Morecambe and Wise. Kim, for your number 2, you said Kerry and Curtin.
Yep.
So Neil, your number 2, please.
So they're not really known as a duo, but I think they work so well together on TV as a duo. Is Ricky Gervais and Carl Pilkington.
Okay.
Their TV show, if it wasn't for the two of them together, and it was just Stephen Merchant, it wouldn't be as funny. So if you watch something like the Ricky Gervais show, it's basically those two, and they're the ones that are having the most laughs to me. I just think they work so well together.
On TV, though.
Idiot Abroad.
Yeah,
They
the
were
Idiot
together.
Oh,
Abroad.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I was going to say
yeah.
on the podcast and stuff.
Well, there is, and they made a TV show of the Ricky Gervais show.
You're
which is a
absolutely right.
cartoon,
Yeah. I apologize. Yeah, you're
which is
absolutely right.
my staple late night. If I want, like, Pav goes to sleep with the carry-ons, I quite often put those cartoons on. And those two together properly give me belly laughs. Still to this day. I mean, it's usually Ricky's reaction to what Carl has said and the things, and the way that guy laughs at his stuff is so genuine. It makes it can't but not make you happy. It just just makes me laugh, and I could listen to those two talking for days, forever. I just think they work so well together. Even when they did Derek together, I know he was just Carl was playing himself, but it still works so well, and I really, really want them to get back together and do something. They really should. So that's it.
That's a good one. Kim, are you a fan?
I'm not a fan of Ricky Gervais, I have to say, but I did watch An Idiot Abroad, and I did enjoy that because I think Carl Pilkington is very good. But also, I am a very big fan of Stephen Merchant too. So
yeah, I do love Stephen Merchant. Don't get me wrong, and I think his new series, The Outlaws, is
fab.
One of the best things that TV has had for years.
Definitely.
Have you watched that, Pal?
I've not seen the second series yet. I've seen
you
the
need to get on it. It's so good.
Yeah, my missus has already watched the second series.
Yeah, I've watched it. Brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fair enough.
Be nice to see the three of them to get together.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get them back and do something together, wouldn't it? My daughter actually, as we're recording this on Monday, went to Leicester Square and watched some of Ricky Gervais doing his working out his new stand-up.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So managed to go. She, one of her mates, got some because he released the tickets really like last minute. 'Cause it's only him working through stuff, so it's not like a proper finished show. And he did half hour, 45 minutes or something. And it was quite an interesting way of seeing a bit.
Did she say it was funny?
She did say it was funny. Yeah. I was a little bit.
Sorry,
with his last. I was a little bit disappointed with his last.
Oh, were you? I found that really funny. I really did. Yeah, I enjoy that. I enjoy his stand-up.
I do enjoy his stand-up. Yeah, he's very good. Okay, my number 2, again, started in the 90s. I've followed these guys' careers all the way from since then. Vic and Bob. So Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer, right from Vic Reeves' Big Night Out. Actually, I think the first time I saw him was when on Jonathan Ross's chat show.
Yeah, he did the Friday, not the Friday night with Jonathan Ross, the Saturday thing, didn't he? On
Channel 4. And he used to do like a quiz in the middle of it. And Vic and Bob used to do characters like poking their head out of out of a window, from what I can remember. But yeah, Vic and Bob, I think they're a lot like Monty Python. They're a lot like Marmite. You either like them and think that they're hilarious, or you have no idea what's going on. Especially their sort of comedies like The Smell of Reeves and Mortimer and Vic Reeves, Big Night Out and things like that. I'm just in the groove of the kind of comedy. And Shooting Stars obviously was something that made them a little bit more mainstream. Again, now they're sort of like gone their separate ways, and Bob is off fishing with Paul Whitehouse, and Vic is doing like his art and doing stuff for Channel 4 and that.
And he's losing his name. He's not going to be known as Vic Reeves. He's going back to Jim Moore.
Jim.
Is he?
Oh.
So is he losing his name? What, by choice?
He's going to retire. Yeah, he's doing it by choice because he's actually said he's going to retire soon. He's got a couple more things to do.
Yeah, well, he's not very well, is he? He's got some like degenerative disease or something, hasn't he?
Yeah, so he's actually retiring. He's announced that this is it, really.
No, fair play. Fair play. I had the pleasure of going to see him live a couple of times with the Big Night Out tour, and with the Big Night, they did a couple of characters called Donald and Davy Stott that had like bold wig things and little bits of tape for a moustache, and they'd wear skirts and stupid stuff. And me and my mate went thinking everybody's going to be dressed up. So we dressed up as Donald and Davy Stott, and there was nobody else dressed up apart from one guy that was dressed up in like a white like overall coat, so he was Les, which is their like assistant,
Mhm.
and we looked like a right couple of knobheads because we were just dressed up. And but inside my jacket, I had like 10 pieces of tape in case this tape got all sweaty and went off. I thought I'm all prepared. Yeah, and like, obviously there wasn't anything like mobile phones to take photographs then, so we couldn't even take a photograph of us doing it. So what a nightmare. Okay, so before we actually announce our number ones, Kim, would you like to give us a rundown of your 10 to 2?
Okay. So at number 10, Starsky and Hutch. Number 9 is Jack and Vera Duckworth. Number 8 is Greg Davis and Taylor Lautner in Cuckoo. Number 7 would be Martin Clunes and Neil Morrissey in their Men Behaving Badly days. And number 6 sees Matt Lucas and David Williams in their Rock Profile. Number 5 is Martin Compston and Vicky McClure via Line of Duty. Armstrong and Miller, particularly the Airman RAF Men sketches, is at number 4. Kathy Burke and James Dreyfus, Gimme, Gimme, Gimme at number 3. And our old friends Kerry and Curtin for This Country at number 2.
Wonderful. Neil, your 10 to 2, please.
So at number 10, I've got Shaggy and ScoobyDoo. Number 9, the Two Ronnies. Number 8, Tubbs and Crockett. Number 7, Buffy and Angel. Number 6, Morecambe and Wise. Number 5, Batman and Robin. Number 4, Kerry and Curtin. Number 3, Del Boy and Rodney. Number 2, Ricky Gervais and Carl Pilkington.
Do you know how much trouble I have? Right. So just a little thing for our YouTube channel. When we do the 10 to 2 rundown, I put the pictures in.
Right.
And if you go, then the picture just flashes really, really quick.
Slow me down. Put me to 33.
I was listening to that then thinking, Jesus Christ, there's going to be like a tiny little flash.
Yeah. Subliminal.
Rodney.
Subliminal.
Anyway, yeah, so my number 10 is Saint and Greavesy. My number 9 is Derek and Clive. 8 is Kerry and Curtin. 7, Batman and Robin. 6, Del and Rodney. 5, the Two Ronnies. 4, Tom and Jerry. 3, Morecambe and Wise. And number 2, Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. So, Kim, what is your number 1 TV duo?
Okay, number 1 for me. And number 1 for me since about 1988 are Trevor and Simon in the singing corner.
Oh, really?
Trevor and
Simon.
I loved these guys. I mean, I used to watch. I mean, obviously they were on with Philip Schofield on Going Live in the mornings on a Saturday, and I was way too old to be watching that show at that time. But I just loved these guys, and they always had like special guests. Kylie Minogue was one of the standout ones that I remember. But also, it always felt to me like there's an adult version in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Sure
and I am still waiting for that.
To be fair, though, they were one of those ones where some of the stuff they would say could be like would go over the head of the children.
Yes.
But a bit like the Simpsons and things like that. But there would be a bit you sort of go, I get that. I know what they're trying to say there.
And they had they obviously they had the swing your pants catchphrase, and they wore the clothes, and it was comedy greatness for me.
Yeah.
We had the pleasure of interviewing the pair of them.
Wow.
Years ago. Great guys.
Guys. My word.
Yeah, what was that on? That was
the old Movie Heaven.
The Movie Heaven, that's right. Yeah.
Wow.
And they're very nice as well, aren't they?
Yes.
Nice guys.
Yeah, really nice guys.
Yeah.
Wow. See, it's showing your age in regards to how young you are there. That Trevor and Simon is your go-to.
Yes.
Isn't it? You know.
Bless.
I mean, goodness me. I keep trying to pin an age on you, Kim, and I just can't do it. I've got to 25 now, so is that all right?
That's perfect.
Is that perfect?
That's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Double it in you there.
Okay, all right. Well, go on then, Neil. You're number 1.
Well, you've already mentioned this duo. It's Vic and Bob. I just think they're comedy geniuses. I can pretty much watch everything they've done. I loved when they brought the Big Night Out back for that very short run a few years ago. The sketches that they came up with that were on there were just as genius as ever. And to me, it shows that the BBC should have invested more in them and done more. I personally think, especially like Shooting Stars, could have gone on for a bit longer. Loved it. And like I say to everybody who's never done it, if you want to know more, read Bob Mortimer's biography. Not only is it batshit crazy and funny, it's also heartwarming and sort of like factual as well. Gives you a lot of hints and everything. So I've got a lot of time for these two, a lot of time, and I don't think we'll ever see another like them. Like you say, they come from the Spike Milligan, the Monty Python School of Humor. You either like it or you don't. And
you either like it or you don't understand it. That's the thing. There was so much stuff there that didn't. The reason it was funny was it didn't make sense.
Yeah,
that was the.
But
point
some of it was just genius. I mean, there's a couple of things that I've shown the kids and they've fallen in love with it. Mulligan and O'Hare, yeah. Which my kids, well, especially my son, seems to find absolutely bloody hilarious, and I still do. And the song they did, Tiny Hands.
Yes,
that's all I'll say. If you've never seen the song,
I'll put that in the video playlist.
Tiny Hands.
I'll put that in the video
playlist. I absolutely find that one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. And one of the biggest tragedies, not tragedy, that's the wrong word. One of the biggest, I don't know, whatever, travesties maybe, is the fact that House of Fools only got 2 series.
Yeah.
It was everything. I mean, I'm not a fan of Mrs. Brown's Boys. I'm just not. But it's that same kind of sitcom where it's live in front of a studio audience, but it is totally batshit crazy. It makes no sense. It's got some weird stuff in it, but it's so much fun, and it's got a great cast of characters apart from Vic and Bob. You know, Matt Berry.
Yeah.
Other people. I've completely forgot who's in it.
Like you said, it's sad that it was only 2 series. It deserved more.
It was so good. It was so good. I can't.
And the other when they did other series like Catterick. To me,
Catterick as well.
So funny, and
so
it never
many
got
good
anything
things.
else.
So many,
and that had Matt Lucas in, and
other people.
Mark Benton.
Mark Benton, that's right. Yeah, we never did get for the podcast, did we?
No, even though he promised.
He did. Never mind. Okay, my number 1. Now this is a bit contentious. Neil and I were chatting beforehand. Maybe they weren't specifically TV because they started on the big screen. But I saw everything of theirs on the TV. It's Laurel and Hardy.
Wow.
Yeah, which I would have put in my top 10.
I know you would have, Neil. If you say that Vic and Bob are comedy geniuses, these are the OG for me.
They are
for me. I mean, one thing that gets me in regards to like talking to a lot of American people, they seem to go more for Abbott and Costello and the Marx Brothers, those kind of people, and they don't ever seem to talk about Laurel and Hardy as much as I think they should. But for me, you can't get, and again, it's the sort of thing that kids can watch. I watched it as a kid, and it's like a cartoon. It's 2 people, both at once. Say one of them thinks that they're clever, the other one knows that he's not clever, and they're just like smacking shit out of each other.
Yeah, but it's a lot cleverer than that.
It's a lot cleverer than that. But at its base, you've got some amazing slapstick comedy, but you've got some amazing jokes. You know, you can lead a horse to water, but a pencil must be led. It's a great,
leads to one of the funniest scenes you'll ever see.
Yes, Bratz, which I'll put that in the show notes. if I can get the whole episode of Bratz, I'm telling you that there are bits in that I have watched for 50 years, and I still piss myself laughing. It is crazy how something like that can just keep making you laugh, even when you know it's going to happen. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, so apologies if you don't believe that that's a TV duo, but I'm gonna stick to my guns with that one.
We'll let you have it.
Thank you. We got a couple of honorable mentions. At Hugenbard said Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. In terms of dry, silent, deadpan delivery, it's right up there with classic silent movies. Wile E. Coyote's defeated expression still makes me laugh now. Jen Berg says Sean Spencer and Burton Guster from Psych one of my all-time favorite shows. So much fun. You would love it, Pav. So I'm gonna have to try and find out.
Yeah.
The many cameos would blow your little Gen X mind, she says. Josh from Just Films and that. Hello, Josh, says Vic and Bob. At Sean O'Reilly, I hope I'm saying that right. Morecambe and Wise. The At and Why Not Pod said Lois and Clark in both that show and Superman and Lois. Also Pinky and the Brain. Sean and Gus from Psych, which was just said by Jen. Hawkeye and BJ from MASH. Siskel and Ebert. Arthur and Terry from Minder. Danger Mouse and Penfold.
Penfold.
Penhold.
Should I say Penhold?
We're going to, yeah.
Sorry, Penfold. Zig and Zag, Big Breakfast.
Yeah.
Paul and Jamie Buckman, Mad About You. And Sam and Al, Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Kim Mendes said Laurie Lee and Rory. So I'm not sure who that's from. And Buffy and Angel. At Matt _Rant says, ooh, Kermit and Miss Piggy at number 1 for sure. Well, it's 3 O's, so I'm saying that's ooh. Yeah, thank you for that, Kim. But also Hill and Renko from Hill Street Blues, Sam and Dean, Supernatural, Laurel and Hardy. So there's
another one.
Benton Fraser and either or both Rays from Due South, French and Saunders, Del and Rodney, and Scooby and Shaggy. Lisa Buchanan said, okay, I have a few. Norman Cliff from Cheers. Love the way they played off each other, which leads me to Hawkeye Pierce and BJ Honeycutt from MASH, the absolute best friendship. I love Mulder and Scully from X-Files. And finally, my number 1 choice, Lucy and Ethel from I Love Lucy. The amount of fun and trouble they got into was astonishing, maybe a little envious of their relationship. And another one of our friends, Helena White. Helena, hello, Helena. I wonder what she said. Of course, she said Kerry and Kern. There you go. Of course she did. So there you go. We've done it. Our top 10 TV duos in the bag. And I think, well, there wasn't that many duplicates.
No.
And you had a couple in there, Kim, that sort of steered us away from what I was thinking. There's some good ones in there. Did you enjoy that?
I did enjoy that very much.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. What kind of so when you come back again, what kind of subject would you like to tackle? Something in the TV field, movies, music,
something in a movies or a music thing.
Movies
next,
or a
I
music.
Think. Yeah.
Okay.
80s is my bag.
80s is your bag. Okay. Right. We will have a little think. But if you're happy to come back, we're happy to have you.
Definitely.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Neil, before we say our goodbyes, do you want to tell everybody how they can get in touch?
Of course I can, Pav. So you can find us on all the social medias under Top 10 Pods. Do give us a click, give us a like, give us a follow, or whatever it is you do on those things. Email us at toptenpods@hotmail.com with any suggestions you may have or any questions you'd like to ask. Come and help support the podcast at patreon.com/top10pods, where there's all sorts of rewards where you too could be a guest like our lovely Kim here. Check out all of our links via Linktree. You can find the link in the show notes. And please do come subscribe, leave us a rating and a review wherever you get your podcast from.
Beautifully done, Neil. Absolutely beautifully done. Kim, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's been lovely. It's been lovely catching up with you after all this time.
I know. Let's not leave it so long now.
No, let's not. Let's not. And also thank you so much again for supporting us like you have done over the years.
You're welcome.
It means so much. It really does. So that's it. TV duos done. Thank you very much, Neil.
Thank you very much, Pav. Thank you very much, Kim. Been a pleasure.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you very much, Kim. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening and for watching. And let's go start the countdown.
4 candles.
10.